Hi everyone. Today we are doing the concept of statistics, which is the mean, median, mode, range, standard deviation. Now this can be used in your Edexcel. It is a part of the IGCSE syllabus. So what you have to do is you have to strengthen your concepts related to the basics of statistics. So when I am talking about statistics, that means I have a set of data. Data is something that we do a survey on, okay, and we calculate the mean is nothing but your average. When I say your mean is nothing but your average, so if I have a data set, say I have a data set A and I have a data set B, okay, so the average of all the values, these are the values in the data set, is called the mean. How do you calculate the mean? You add all the values in your data set and you divide it by the number of values. So you will get your mean. So mean is nothing but your average. How do you get the mean? You add all the values in the data set and divide it by the size of the data set that we could say is n. So if I say my values are x, so mean would be this symbol denotes summation of x divided by n. This would be your mean. So I say, for example, I have two data sets. One is my data set A and one is my data set B. So I want to calculate the mean of my data set A. So I would say mean of my data set A is nothing but it is equal to sum of all the values. So what are the values? It would be 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus, I can write 8 plus 8, or alternatively I can write 2 times 8 plus 9 plus 10. So these are the observations or sum of all the values. So this would be my summation x over the number of values in my data set, or I would say over the size of the data set. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it is 7 observations. So I am calculating the mean. I go to my calculator, the values. So I get the mean as 1 plus 2 plus 4. So it is nothing but this is 42 divided by 7. So it would be 6. Similarly, you can get the mean of B. So I would say I have a mean of set B. What is the size of my data set? My size of the data set is nothing but my n. Size of the data set is 6. Okay, so mean would be sum of all the values in the data set, that is, it is 0 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4 plus 5 and plus 5 over the size of the data or the number of observations. So this is 6. So the sum of all this comes up to 16. I divide it by 6. So the mean of set B is nothing but it is 8 by 3. So I have the mean of set A, mean of set B. What is the mean? The mean is the average of the values in your data set. So let's take it in the context of our syllabus. I would say my mean can only be calculated for quantitative data. Okay, so mean would be written as x bar. Mean can be calculated for your raw data. And it can be also calculated for your grouped data. That means from your frequency table data. So mean of x is nothing but summation of x over n. Okay. And for a grouped data, your mean of x is sum of fx over the sum of f, that is the frequency. Now, the important point that you have to note over here, that when you are using a calculator and you have a grouped distribution table, so your sum of x is nothing but your sum of fx. Okay. If you have two sets of data and you are asked to calculate the combined mean, so in this case, your mean of x would be n1 x1 plus, that is the number of observations of set 1, plus your mean of your set 1, plus the number of observation of set 2 and your mean of set 2, divided by the total number of observations, that would be n1 plus n2. So we are doing chapter 2.2 of measures of central tendency statistics at Excel AS year 1. So here we do measure of location. When I talk about location, location is one value, one single value that describes the position of my data. Okay, so location will describe what? Location is going to describe the position of your data, and there are three measures of location, which is called the measures of central tendency. So your three measures of central tendency is mean, median, and mode. This is your measure of location, or you could say your measure of central tendency. In this video, we are particularly discussing about the mean. And what is mean? Mean is the average. Okay, it is the average value in your data set. Let's take over here. We have example number 3 of the Edexcel textbook, Statistics Year 1. So I have a mean of a sample of 25 observations. So here I could say my n is 25 and the mean, that is this mean, is 6.4. So the mean of a second sample, that means I have n1 as 25 and I have mean of x1 as 6.4. I have a second sample, so my n2 would be 30 and the mean of the second sample, that is mean of x2, is 7.2. The total number of all the observations is 55. So total n is 55. What have they asked me to calculate? Let's check. So they have asked me to calculate the mean of all the 55 observations. That I have a mean of set 1 and I have a mean of set 2. Okay. I have to calculate the mean of all the 55 observations. That means they are asking me to calculate the combined mean. What is the formula for combined mean? This is the formula for combined mean, which says n1 x1. It's not very clear. Let's write it. So the formula for the combined mean would be mean of x is equal to number of observation in set 1 over the mean of set 1 plus the number of observations of set 2 over the mean of set 2 divided by n1 plus n2. Okay, so let's see. I have the number of observations of set 1. So I just substitute the values of what I have. So my n1 is 25, mean of the first observation is 6.4, plus my n2 is 30 and the mean of the second observation is 7.2 over n1 plus n2, that is 25 plus 30. Please note it is important to write it over here. So plus 30 into 7.2. So this is going to make it, let's do this. This is 160, 13 to 7. It is 216, and my total number of observations is 55. So when I put this on the calculator, I am going to get the mean as 160 plus 216 over 55. So my mean is 6.836. This is up to three significant figures. Okay. As discussed, we can also calculate the mean of a grouped data. I will teach you how to use the calculator for calculating the mean of the group data. Okay. And when you're doing this, the sum that is there in example number 4, they have also asked you to calculate the median and the mode. Just for reference, right now, we will do in detail about the median and the mode. Median means the middle value of the observation, and mode means the value that is repeated the most. Okay, let's take example number 4. We will do this with the help of our calculator. Levy records the shirt collar size X. So this is my X. Okay. I'll write it over here for your reference. X is 15, 15.5, 16, 16.5, and 17. And the frequency, that means the frequency is whatever is given. I'm just writing it over here, 29, 34, and 12. This is the shirt collar size. That means 3 people wear the shirt collar size 15. 17 people wear the shirt collar size 15.5. For this data, I need to find the mode, the median, and the mean. It is very easy. I'll go on the calculator, I'll go to the mode, I'll go to the statistics part, and I will do variable. Okay. When I get the variable, I hope you can see my screen properly. When I get the variable, what I am going to do, I'm going to input my x and I'm going to input my f. So my x is 15. Okay. The next x is 15.5. Then the next one is 16. The next one is 16.5. And the next one is 17. I'm going to input my f. What is my f? I need this in the decimal form, so I'll just place this in decimal form. Okay. Now input my f, that is 3, 17, 29, 34, and 12. Once I input this, I will go to option 1 variable calculation, and I get this calculation over here. If you see the calculation properly, I am getting my mean of x. What is the mean of x? The first one. Okay, so I get the mean of x as 16.184. My summation x I am getting over here as 1537.5. Summation x square, all this data we are going to use later. We'll talk about it later. My number of observations, the total number of observations will be the total of f, which is 95. Med means your second quartile, it means your median, which is 16. Okay, this is the information that we are going to look at right now and we are going to deal with it. Now, how do I write this? I'm going to write my mean of x is nothing but it is the sum of fx over the summation of f. Okay. I do not need to make a column of f into x. I can directly use my calculator. So sum of fx is denoted by summation x in your calculator. So that is 1537.5. And sum of f, that means it is your total number of observations. So your total number of observations is 95. So your mean is 16.184. Now look at solving the A, B, and C part. So I have the A part. What is the mode? Mode is the observation that is repeated the most. So I see the most repeated one is 34. That means 34 people are wearing the collar size of 16.5. Okay, it is the highest frequency collar size with 16.5. So the mode is 16.5. Next, median. Median is the middle observation. When I say my median is the middle observation, if it's written by med over here, it is also called the second quartile. So my median is 16. You need to have a detailed explanation of median, which I will give you in the next video. And third was C part was the mean, and we had calculated the mean as 16.184. Explain why will a shirt manufacturer use mode when planning production numbers. A shirt manufacturer wants to know which shirt size is worn the most. So if you see from here, the shirt size that is worn the most is 16.5. So he will use the shirt size worn the most by getting the mode. Mode is an actual data value and it gives the manufacturer information on the most common size worn. And that is how the manufacturer will use the mode. Say while planning the production numbers, the manufacturer will use the mode because that is the most common size worn or purchased.